Greetings, friends, diving straight in here to unveil the countdown TikTok toward our mythic Odyssey, the Nile and the Holy Land cruise, which has been we've been planning for some time now. And I have a tremendous announcement to make, for me, a very exciting one, which is that my beloved friend, my bestie, Brad Olsen, has agreed to join us on this mythic Odyssey. And wow, I could not hope or ask for a better co-host to come on this journey with us and to help explore the vestiges of our archaeo-cosmological roots and imbue the entire mythic cruise with some extraordinary information. The man is a font of wisdom, as you all well know, the award-winning author, publisher, researcher, and world traveler who has explored sacred and archaeological sites across all 7 continents. I didn't even know there were 7 continents. I thought there were 6. Oh, I've just learned something new. He is the author of numerous books, including his esoteric series and Sacred Places series. And he's appeared on programs including Ancient Aliens and American Unearthed. Ancient civilizations, megalithic structures, and the mysteries surrounding the pyramids have been central to Brad Olsen's work. Brad, brother, I am so excited to have you on board.
Well, hey, Sasha, thanks for inviting me. It's great to always be in your company, and we learn so much from each other. I really am looking forward to this adventure in Egypt.
Big time. We're going to turn into a serious rock and roll adventure, and we're going to be filming it, friends, and we may even do some live broadcasting along the Nile cruise. That's if our producer, Susan Shumsky, can wrangle that out of the folks on the ground. I'm not sure if you have any internet on the Nile cruise, but we'll find out. I'm going to dive bomb Susan Shumsky, and Susan, so happy to have you.
I'm excited to be here with both of you today.
Very good. And I also want to bring in my producer, Christy. Hey, Christy, thanks for joining us. Yay. So, Susan, talk to us. What is the actual the itinerary that Brad and I are going to be releasing to the world?
Yes, it's a fabulous itinerary. Really, we're hitting all the hot spots of Egypt. Everything that is of interest to people who are interested in esoteria, which definitely Brad and definitely Sasha and definitely your audiences. So if we could bring up that PowerPoint presentation, then I can just lightly touch on the different places that we'll be visiting.
Sure, let me just change it so it can fit us all in, and then I will hit, let me see, in slide from beginning. Okay, just let me know when to.
Okay, that's great. So you see in this picture, you see Sasha, you see Sue Wong, who will also be joining us, and you see Sekhmet. We're going to be spending an hour with Sekhmet in Karnak, and that's quite an amazing life-transforming experience to be in her presence. So what'll happen is just a few people will go in at a time to have her darshan, her presence. So let's go to the next slide. This is a picture of Ramesses II, known as Egypt's ultimate propagandist, longest living pharaoh, and self-proclaimed living god. Ramesses II, known as Ramses the Great. He built an empire as vast as his own mythical reputation. But in 1274 BC, blinded by hubris, he rushed his advance guard towards Kadesh, impatient to conquer the Hittites, with his rear guard dangerously scattered 15 miles behind. Could you go to the next slide? So Ramses believed that the Hittite spies, who convinced him that their army was 100 miles away, but the fact was that the troops were actually lying in wait to ambush Ramses just inside the city wall. So Egypt scouts only learned the truth after beating a second pair of spies until they confessed. The picture on the bottom right is the spies being beaten into submission until they confessed. But just at that moment, 40,000 Hittite soldiers and 3,000 chariots sprung their trap. They tore through Ramses' camp in a violent carnage. Though reinforcements arrived to save Ramses from total ruin, hundreds of wounded troops were abandoned by Ramses in the desert. Without mummification, according to their religious beliefs, the spirits of these soldiers were barred from the afterlife and condemned to oblivion. Meanwhile, back home, when Ramses returned, he weaponized history to hide his failure. Blaming his brave fallen troops as cowardly deserters, he claimed that he single-handedly crushed the enemy. At Abu Simbel, which is the place you see on the upper left, that's the monument that he built, huge, colossal monument. His stonemasons carved his heroic lie into massive reliefs, and those reliefs are seen there on the upper right and the lower left, where it is shown that he single-handedly crushed the enemy. And so the stonemasons carved that heroic lie, and complete with signs of the spies being beaten. And to guarantee his myth survived, Ramses usurped earlier monuments, but commanded his architects to carve his name so deep into the solid granite so future pharaohs could not erase him without collapsing the structures. So because of this true story behind these famous reliefs, Sacha decided to add Abu Simbel as an optional pre-tour to our Mythic Odyssey itinerary, alongside extra time at the Grand Egyptian Museum in Cairo, where the red granite statue of Ramses, go back to the last slide again for a moment, please. That's where the red granite statue of Ramses stands sentry over the lobby. It's 30 feet tall, weighs 83 tons, and is 3,200 years old. So that will be our first thing we're visiting, pre-tour. Let's go to the next slide and the next slide. So the Grand Egyptian Museum, these are some of the 5,000 artifacts in the King Tut exhibit. So this will be quite an adventure to visit the Grand Egyptian Museum. And in our pre-tour, our optional pre-tour, we're going to take a whole day to visit this, but it'll be in the main tour as well. So everyone will get a chance to visit the museum and see King Tut's artifacts. Let's see the next slide. So this is more about King Tut. This is actually King Tut's lineage. And for 3,000 years, that lineage was a deep, dark secret. But it has very recently come to light. So in the 14th century BC, the heretic pharaoh Akhenaten, he's the one on the upper left there. You see, he has this interesting looking face. He didn't look like that, by the way. Anyway, he was a heretic in that he was trying to preach and teach the one God, Aten. And that's why he changed his name from Thutmose III to Akhenaten, or I'm sorry, Thutmose IV to Akhenaten. And after his death, the priests restored the old religion, and they tried to wipe out Akhenaten. They erased him from all the monuments. They tried to just bury him so that no one could ever find out about him. And then after Akhenaten came Tutankhamun, his son, and he only reigned for 9 years. He was there from age 9 on the throne till age 19. And once Howard Carter opened Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, his parentage remained unproven until modern science intervened. There were several clues. In 1898, it was discovered KV-35, built for Amenhotep II, and it contained some mummies, Amenhotep III, Queen Tai, and what was called the Younger Lady. And then in 1907 was uncovered KV-55, which held a defaced mummy and a desecrated coffin. And guess who that was? That was Akhenaten. And the ones in the other cache were hidden to protect them. And that was the Younger Lady, the Older Lady, and a man, unidentified man. So then Dr. Zahi Hawass, between 2007 and 2010, he led a team using surgical drills to extract bone cores from 11 mummies. They did that in the Cairo University and the Cairo Museum, and they isolated the ancient DNA. And here's what they found. KV-55 was Amenhotep III, which is Akhenaten. They found Akhenaten's mummy. And they found the DNA. And the DNA, Tutankhamun is Akhenaten's son. And his mother is not Nefertiti, which is Akhenaten's wife. His mother was unknown. She was the Younger Lady in that tomb that they found, the Younger Lady. They also found out through DNA testing that Tutankhamun and his wife were step siblings. They also found out through DNA that Akhenaten was sharing grandparents with Nefertiti. And this is how it was from all the pharaohs down generation, the bloodline. They believed in the purity of the bloodline. But unfortunately, that purity, the bloodline, created generations of incest that caused bone necrosis, a club foot for Tutankhamun. They found hundreds of canes in his tomb, in Tutankhamun's tomb. And those canes were not just staffs, royal staffs. He was using them because he couldn't walk. He had a club foot, a cleft palate, and severe malaria that killed him at age 19. And unfortunately, they also found in Tutankhamun's tomb these two little tiny coffins that you see in the lower left. You see the two little coffins. Those are fetuses that were mummified and were found in Tutankhamun's coffin. And unfortunately, that was the end of the bloodline. That was the end of the legacy.
You know what's interesting? Oh, well, that they did a CAT scan on Tutankhamun, and indeed, he is elongated skull, as well as Nefertiti, as well as Akhenaten. So we're also talking about the lineage of giants with these elongated skulls.
Right.
And these elongated skulls have been found around the world, including a whole museum dedicated to them in Paracas, Peru, as well as the Black Sea region in North America. I'm doing a book on giants, and they've been found in the mound sites in North America. So this is really interesting that this lineage, which you said just ended after those two fetuses, Susan, it kind of like the end of an era with, at least in this Middle Kingdom, Tel El Armana, which Akhenaten was the first king to profess monotheism. And that is the belief in one God. So as much as all this is so interesting, it's also a lesson in history, as you've been pointing out, Susan. And this is what I really love to learn about. And when you go to a place, then you really immerse yourself in that history and the living life of these pharaohs and their ancestors, and it really brings it home.
Mm. And Brad,
Yeah.
how many times have you been to Egypt yourself, Brad?
I was there one time in 1993 for a month, and I went to down the Nile and went to the location Abu Simbel, which, by the way, was completely reconstructed above the dam when they filled in Lake Nasser.
Yeah.
And so that alone is worth seeing, because not only is it an incredible monument, but to have done that and reconstructed it is quite something to see.
Yeah.
So when we get to Abu Simbel, which is pre-tour, we're doing a pre-tour to Abu Simbel, we will be seeing the Sound and Light show at night, which is a spectacular thing to see. And so we'll see it in the daytime, we'll also see it at night. I just wanted to add another note. While Nefertiti's tomb remains undiscovered, her mummy has never been found yet, actually. The DNA resurrected the Amarna family tree, and it made this boy Pharaoh and his father, Akhenaten and Tutankhamun, who they tried to erase completely from history, and made him Tutankhamun the most famous pharaoh that ever lived. That's the irony. And now he's featured with 5,000 artifacts of the 100,000 artifacts in the Grand Egyptian Museum. 5,000 of the artifacts are Tutankhamun.
Amazing. Well, I lived there in 1999, 2000, 2001. So across those 3 years, I spent most of my time, the lion's share of my time between Morocco and Egypt, and had a fascination with it. Did my little night in the pyramid rite of initiation, which I've explained to my Lazarus audience multiple times about that. But greatly looking forward to going. The last time we were there, Susan and I were there last year, we took about 55 odd people. It was a large group, but we took them Greece, Cyprus, Turkey, and Egypt. And I confess, on that day, I think I stayed on the boat with Scott. I didn't go to the pyramids to Giza, because I know it so intimately. I did, however, go to Saqqara, and Saqqara is very, very special. We're going there again this year, right?
Yes, if you bring up, there's a picture of it.
I'm waiting for that.
The Saqqara step pyramid, I'll make a note, when I was there 1993, I rode horses from the Great Pyramid to Saqqara, and there's a whole string of sub-pyramids along the way. And also what's below Saqqara is equally impressive. Many chambers and many different, they call them Apis bull tombs of these large granite sarcophagus.
Last year we inspected that.
Yes, and there was an unusual experience in the step pyramid when we were there. A ring fell into one of our...
It was a very unusual experience, and actually it was our registrar of the International Tribunal of ITNJ who was accompanying us, Leith Masters, and when she put her head into the sonic chamber to listen to the pulse of the earth, a golden ring fell from the flue. Somehow, we'd all been putting our heads in to listen, and the moment she put her head in, this ring fell down. Extraordinary. Do you have an image? Do you have a photograph of the ring, Susan?
Oh, no, I don't have a photograph.
We had it on one of our shows. One of the team.
We did.
The images of it. It was just extraordinary. Yeah. Anyway, she sees it as a hugely consequential totem of her reincarnation, Lee. But that was certainly an odd experience,
to say the least. Amazing experience.
Okay, so after Brad, when you said you went on horseback between Giza and Saqqara, how long did that take?
Oh, the full day, and it was probably about 3 hours each way, because we had to get the horses back at the end of the day too, and getting a little saddle burned by the end of it. But wow, it was a great experience just to look out and see the Great Pyramids in the distance. There's nothing like that.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Had I known it, I would have tried to get us to look into doing that with our tour. But I assume it's a bit too late for us now. But that sounds like an amazing adventure. Maybe next time. I wanted to
fantastic.
wanted to do camelback at one point through the Great White Sahara, from Siwa Oasis to I can't remember the next oasis. That was like a 3-day piece, and I was planning that. Actually, I was planning to do it with the late great Anita Pallenberg, who was the wife of Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones, who was one of my closest friends for years. And we were planning to do this Great White Sahara trek on camelback. I never did get to ride longer than like a couple of hours, Brad, in Egypt, always around the Giza Plateau. I used to do a lot of riding there with the Arab horses, but just the idea of doing a horse expedition. Of course, you're absolutely right. That after a couple of hours on horseback, my God, try walking the next day. It's just,
if you're not used to it.
Okay, where next are we going?
Yeah,
Susan?
so we could go back to the slides and we can see what our program is.
I can't control the studio when I'm sharing entire screen. So can you find the slide view, Sasha?
What does the slide look like? Tell me. I'll see if I
Just
can
a
bring it up.
square, like the square or square with people.
A square slide with people.
You know, when you change the slide to different views, there's just a rectangle that shows the slide, unless you removed
On there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the biggest we can get it. There we go.
Okay. I hope we didn't miss a day. Anyway, this is the Valley of the Kings.
That was, we went from Saqqara to.
Oh, there's Saqqara. Yeah, this is Valley of the Kings, and also what else is on there? That is I'm sorry, Luxor. That's Luxor, and Luxor happens to be the biggest religious monument in the world. It's huge.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah.
I was most impressed.
200 acres.
I was definitely most impressed with Luxor when I was there. I think compared to Giza for sure.
Yeah. Of course, you're going to see a lot of Ramesses II all over the place because he definitely made himself known and continued to be known.
Right.
And he did do a lot of things that were beneficial. He built up the Egyptian empire, and it was very prosperous. So he did a lot of good things. So we're going to be visiting Sekhmet. She's there. That's the cat standing there, the cat goddess. And as I said, we'll be doing those like semi-private experiences with her, which is quite astounding. I had a very powerful experience with her when I was one of the times I was in Egypt. And then on the bottom there, you see Karnak. Actually, Karnak is. Did I say Luxor was the biggest? It's Karnak. It's
Karnak. Yes, Karnak.
Karnak. That's the biggest 200 acre. Yeah, Karnak and Luxor are different places, but they're right next to each other. And this is Edfu and Kamambo. And Edfu is the most well-preserved monument in Egypt, apparently. That's what it says in the description. So we'll be visiting there. And this is Philae Temple. And also we see Elephantine Island. And Philae Temple is that's the temple of the goddess Isis, where I think we should do a meditation because of the vibration there. It has a very gentle vibration. Isis is a beautiful goddess, really has a good vibe. We'll be doing that. Also, we're going to visit Dendera. I don't have that on the slideshow. I forgot to put that on because I added it later. Dendera is very interesting. It's got all these astronomical, all the constellations, the sun, the moon. It's like an observatory, kind of, the way that it has depicts all the different constellations and zodiac signs. It's very, very fascinating. So I decided I'd add that onto our program.
Very good.
And then what we see here is Sinai. That's the hotel we'll be staying at when we're in Sinai. On the upper part, you see that. And then on the bottom part, you see St. Catherine's, which is, well, it's supposed to be where the burning bush still lives.
Yes.
They claim that the burning bush is...
And Moses descended from there, Mount Sinai, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Received the 10 Commandments.
Yes, with the 10 Commandments, having received them at the top. And when he came down, well, of course, there were 12 commandments originally. That's the true story. We'll speak about that. And then he came down and found his revelers, his people had reverted to their orgiastic revelry and were all worshipping the golden calf. Whereupon Moses, enraged, cast the tablets to the ground and they cracked.
According to the movie.
He had to go back up again and ask for another copy.
Rewrite.
Hey,
God, we need a rewrite.
Yeah, great story.
Yeah, 10 Commandments, the movie. We all seen it. Heston.
So here's the boat, the cruise liner.
This is the ship. Yeah. This is our ship we'll be sailing on, the Concerto II. Nice ship. Big pool. I actually, that's the biggest pool I've ever seen on any of the Nile cruise ships. Most of them are like little puddles. Oh, I love this. Make that full screen, please. This is our itinerary. Isn't this fantastic? Look at this. This shows Sinai. It shows Giza, Karnak, Hatshepsut. We are visiting Hatshepsut Temple, by the way. Luxor Temple and Philae Temple. They're on the island. It was moved to that place, by the way.
Great.
It was going to sink, so they moved it to the island. Kamambo and Edfu. And then you see Abu Simbel down there at the bottom with the huge Ramesses statues. So I love this map. It's so cool. And it's got Mount Sinai on it. Up there, you can see the St. Catherine's Monastery there.
Yes.
It's fabulous. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you. Is that it? Those are the images, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Well, I think that suffices. We don't need to labor it beyond this. I think this is beautiful. And I'm very, very excited again that Brad is joining us. And we'll be doing some more drops between now and November. But Susan, the dates again are?
Well, if you come on the pre-tour, it starts on November 15th. That's when we go to Abu Simbel. If you don't go on the pre-tour, it starts on November 18th. And it goes to the 28th. 18th to the 28th.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, friends, that's it. We can discuss, pyramids, the chronology, the mathematics, the bloodlines, and the mystery endlessly. But eventually you have to stand there yourself. And this is the opportunity to enter these extraordinary places together to ask the questions where the evidence actually stands. So if Egypt has ever been calling to you, and I think with most enlightened humans or semi-enlightened humans, Egypt has been knocking on the window. This is almost certainly the time and the place. I can safely say I'm not planning to be leading another retreat to Egypt. We've done one last year. We can do this one. This year is the big, exhaustive, intensive one. And with Brad Olsen there, I'm personally very excited to be a student as well as a teacher on this particular mythic odyssey. Brad, thanks again, brother, for choosing to join us. I'm so happy you're going to be with us.
Oh, my pleasure, Sasha and Susan. It's always great to see you both every time we meet up at conferences and to go to this sacred place. I would say the mother of all sacred places and megalithic sites and home of the pharaohs for thousands of years, the longest lasting empire on earth. There's just so much in Egypt that if you've never been there, it's got to be on your bucket list. And what better way to do it than with two people like Sasha Stone and Susan Shumsky. I really look forward to seeing you guys there.
Thanks, Susan. Thanks, Brad. Love you guys. Look forward to this. Christy, thanks so much for facilitating.